face Clippers, but you look at the past 10 games and where they've been in terms of net rating, their offense, top 5 in defense. You got James Harden, who's having one of the best months, this season. What's your top priorities for this team?
I agree. I mean, they're playing great basketball. They are, which when you look at their roster, there's no reason why they shouldn't be where they are if they're healthy. The Clippers are healthy. They're a championship caliber team. So obviously, without Kawhi, James will be head of the snake. But Norman Powell's playing great. Zoo did great damage against us. But I think when you're kind of where we are, right, this is one of these games. It's about us, right? It's about us getting home, getting a little rest, and in a little bit of a slide here, can we, kind of muster the energy and the force and the competitive nature to beat to me, like I said, a championship caliber team.
In terms of, I guess, mustering that energy and that force, does it help at all that you so recently faced them in potentially, that last game?
Oh, we got good clips, Serena. We can show them when Zubac, elbowed us and put us in the third row, and we didn't hit first or didn't make the right play against their shrink defense. All right, you have this recent memory, and so that's good, and you see how do you react. But it's funny, everybody talks about physicality. That's like the buzzword in the NBA. I love to use the word compete. Like that's you have to get over the hump. You have to compete at a higher level. Physicality is not enough. You have to compete and you have to be smart, right? Like there's both of them. Just being physical is not enough. So that's another reaction I'm looking. Compete at a higher level, compete for longer periods, and then can we do it? You do it with our brains. Play hard, play smart. A college coach's favorite phrase.
Romy.
Hi, Coach. We are celebrating 30 years of Rocket Arena today. Even though you've only been here this season, what has been your favorite memory in the arena so far?
Oh, that's a great question and a little different. Even when before I came to the Cavs, this was always one of the most difficult arenas to play in, Rocket, because fans are great. Whether the Cavs are great or below average or average, the fans are always great, and they have been great for us all year. This arena feels like home. I haven't been here that long, but it feels like home. People in Ohio love the Cavs, and you feel that. You feel that when you're out and about. And to me, I look at it like Roman, like it's a big competitive advantage for us. Regular season, and then I can't wait to see the playoffs. What this arena is going to look like.
As you work to get the team ready for the fast approaching postseason, we are working on getting the fans in the city of Cleveland ready. Do you have a message you want to share with them as we wrap up the regular season and start looking ahead as we are prepping for them for our postseason?
A great question. I've never given advice to the fans. I don't know. Stay the course. Be yourselves. Like I said, this crowd is one of the tops in the league, and great sports city, great sports state. So just continue to be who you are and stay the course. We'll still have some ups and downs, but we got a hell of a team, and we're gonna make them proud. Thank you, Roman.
Chris.
Hey, Kenny.
You always follow,
I know.
and you always
Setting me up for
disappoint.
Phil.
So you better, like, I want to see, like, take this to another level. He's just eloquent,
Kenny, I only know one level. I don't have another gear to get to. I can't flip a switch.
At least you're honest.
Ty's injury designation changed slightly to knee tendonitis. What's the level of concern with him?
Very, very little. I just think he's banged up a little. He had the ankle surgery last year. Not to go deep, ankles, knees. I guess they're related. One can kind of relate to the other. So I think it's just a wear and tear of this this point in the season, but I don't anticipate this being a long-term thing at all.
And you've talked recently about the rebounding issues that you guys have had throughout the course of this month, but like some of your individual players are pretty good in defensive rebounding percentage, so where do the issues start?
It's really a team thing, right? Because there's so many pieces to rebound, and what I think what our guys have to understand, and we got to do a better job of everybody's crashing now. The league used to be, the old Spurs, they'd send 5 back, or maybe they'd send Tim Duncan and one of their other, but 3 back, and now I think every team is attacking the board. So it takes a village, like everyone's got to hit. They're crashing from the corners for sure. Everybody does that now. So you got to go out, hit, and then pursue. And then for our bigger guys, like it's a scrum inside, right? Like it's you. All my years with the rebounding thing, I've always just came out with a simple hit first, and then pursue, and you have to do that collectively. And the guards, Chris, we were on them all the time. You're a part of this. It's not just J.A. It's not just Evan. It's a collective thing. And we've been borderline top 10 the whole year. Last month, slippage, and that's part of that compete discourse I had. Like there's, you say physical, they compete harder, and the ball will end up in your hands.
Dan.
Kenny, where do you think Evan has grown the most throughout the season?
Where has he grown the most? That's a good question. I just think finding that balance, right? He's a multi-talented player, right? And he hasn't pushed his game all to the perimeter. He hasn't pushed his game just inside or just at the elbow. I think he has a good mix. I think his next level is is probably to be more forceful in all those areas, right? And forceful or more aggressive, right? There's just sporadic games where you're like, come on, like you're too good, right? And too good to kind of have kind of a neutral approach or neutral game. So that would be, come on, take it. You're like I said, you're too good. Take it. Take your balance, take your deep, take it to another level, and he does that most of the time. But the greatest of the greats, which he could be in that category, that's kind of his next jump.
How valuable is having a skill set so diversified, where, as you mentioned, it's not all in one place, the perimeter at the basket?
Yeah, I mean it's. I tell you what, sometimes it's a little bit of a delay. Should we get him at ball at the elbow? Should we run an inverted pick and roll for him? Like sometimes you have this guy and he's got all these skill sets. Sometimes for me it makes, especially like ATOs, man, what should we do with him here? I think it depends a little bit on the matchup. And to me that's where, he's got to kind of figure out who am I playing against, right? Zubac, am I going to kind of pound him and try to get to my post game? Maybe you use your speed, right? Maybe you face up on him. Maybe you're picking and popping a little more, make him come out, getting a closeout. And then when you're playing a small guy, they put a 4 on you or a 3. Then are you getting down and are you getting to the elbow and driving it and getting in the post and getting into paint? So again, those are next steps for him, being even better.
Kenny, with Zubac specifically, I mean, obviously to kind of encapsulate all the rebounding stuff you're talking about, you don't want a guy to have a 28 and 20 game against you, but what's that balance between not doing too much and making some stupid decisions like you're talking about earlier, and having that competitiveness in that matchup?
Yeah, there's right to compete, and then the intelligence that goes with it, and quite honestly, this is where you just can't fall in the bucket of physicality with him. You got to know, if he's taking 3 dribbles and pivoting 4 times, and we leave him on an island, and no one comes and swarms and blocks his shot, is that on JA or is that on the group? Our competitive group, right? So we just, Detroit, kind of similar things happen. It's like, man, okay, physicality, but it's like, can we be more attuned, more focused to what we need to do? So it's point well taken.
Kenny, I know you talked about, after Brooklyn, the value in working for championship coaches.
Yeah.
And talked a lot about Steve Kerr, but I was wondering with Ty Lue in the matchup, what did you appreciate and kind of learn from him in your season together?
Oh man, he's great manager of players. He has a system and he sticks with it. So the consistency of that, and then his kind of playoff focus. One thing I remember about Ty is like, man, every day we practice or shoot around, we're gonna have one kind of playoff focus thing we work on. We might not use it tonight, we might not use it in a week, but hey, this could help. And I know I was kind of in charge of like 2 of those days. I can remember what they were, right? And it's like, yeah, sure enough, playoffs came and we were excellent in those areas because we kept on them throughout the year. And then Ty's just he's a hooper. Like he loves the game. He's obsessed with the game. Thinks the game. I really proud of having worked for him, and he helped me become a better coach.
Jeff.
Hey,
Where's Jeff? Okay.
Kenny, what is the biggest challenge for you coaching this last 8 games or so to keep your guys sharp heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean we're finding that balance, right? Finding that by keeping sharp, keeping focused, but also, looking at different lineups and getting our bench the proper minutes, so they're prepared for the playoffs. So there's a lot of moving pieces there. You saw in the Detroit game, we went small a fair amount. And sure, we were behind, and but it's like, man, this is great. We got more information. Like man, can we play small ball? If we have to. Well, if you don't do it, you don't try. You never know. And then all of a sudden the playoffs come. Like, oh shoot, we're playing Indiana. We need to go small. Well, then you get real hesitant about actually doing it if you haven't seen it. And then I'm getting more information on our bench guys. Javante, can he help us? Craig Porter, can he help us in the playoffs? So all that in a bundle, and then getting our main guys to compete and win these, be ready for the playoffs. So.
Kenny, you've gone up against Norman Powell over the years. Just what's allowed him to kind of make that step up this year?
I think I did read something. I think him being thrust into the, he's always that 6th man, and Ty put him in the starting lineup, and he's just, some guys can't make that adjustment. Looks like he's taken it and run with it, become a more efficient player. I remember Toronto, he was a handful, but he's a little bit one-dimensional, right, with the just kind of drive right, and now he's stopped behind the pick and shoot. And they've gotten Clippers have gotten him to be a better defender. He used to be a pick-on guy you would like get Norman Powell into the action. Now there's none of that. Love him. I love how he competes. I'm a big fan. And the Clippers, they've done a phenomenal job getting him to the next level.